What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to talk about the best defenders and attackers for the Victory Track of Season 30 and the Glider Circuit Week 1 and 2. So basically we have this Saga Attackers node where we wouldn't be able to test this before the update because there was no Saga Attackers that time. So this is just a nice bonus for some Saga Attackers that you definitely can use here. Basically gives you like the pre-fire different torch. When you charge a heavy and you hit the opponent, you get some temperature. If you get to 100, you get the flame on passive, and this does more damage with your basic attacks, and it lasts until you reach 0, which honestly seems like a long time. So you definitely want to have some Saga attackers here. They will be pretty useful. Now the other note here prevents champions that have like really huge special attack damage, like Dazzler, because you get this 30% card on you, which can stack up to 2 times. They're basically going to deal like really low damage with your specials. And then the other one is Arc Overload. They get an armor up and a regen after every 20 seconds. So a little bit problematic. But the really most problematic node here is the Glider Circuit Extra node, which is the electric defense. Basically, you take some power burn damage based on the opponent's armor up buffs, and that does some pretty good damage, especially if they have many armor up buffs. So some attackers here that are going to work for this meta. We're starting off with the Science class. I think Titania is really solid because she has a stagger. She can probably, prevent, or not probably, she can't prevent the arc overload, but she won't be good for champions like Red Skull, where they actually start with armor up buffs. You won't be able to stagger those. And then you can probably use some champions with ability accuracy like Joe Fixit and Luke Cage, because they should be able to stop the electric defense from happening. You will not be able to prevent the armor up and the regen from the arc overload, but you should be able to stop the electric defense damage from happening. Now, moving on to the skill class. Sorry, this is not a skill class. You have a lot of ability accuracy champions here, like Crossbones. He should be able to stop the electric defense. Falcon should be able to stop it as well. As well as Massacre has that special one, Disorient. But other than that, you don't really have any nullifiers here or champions that nullify. So you want to use probably only those. Unless you're a big fan of Thor Ragnarok and, go for the specialty to get the armor break. Or you like maybe Korg, offensively Korg. But yeah, moving on to the Mutant class. There are some champions here that should work really well. Archangel should be able to actually stop everything. Electric defense, arc overload, like everything. Same with Magneto if you're fighting metal champions. He also has an armor break on the special too, which you can reapply. So he might make a small comeback for this season. Now Namor. A Secret Honor Namor is going to be very interesting. You can probably use him for like champions with a lot of armor buffs and then just reflect the damage back to them. That should be a really nice champion to use there. And then lastly, you can use Northor here against some skill champions, because with the first hit of your second medium attack, you apply this armor break debuff, which could be really, really useful. Now, we're going to move on to the tech class. Tech class is really, really good. So we are starting off with Howard the Duck. He has a lot of armor breaks. He should work for pretty much any opponent in this meta, so amazing for sure. Hulkbuster also really well. Works really well with his armor breaks. Iron Man is pretty good as well. It's got a bunch of armor breaks on the special one. And then we also have Rocket Raccoon. He's got a nice armor break on the heavy attack, which there he is. Maybe some people use him if you have him like ranked up. It wouldn't be too bad. And then last we've got Warlock with his armor breaks on the special 2 as well. So moving on to the craziest class, like pretty much every single champion works for this, which is insane. So I'm gonna name some here. There's like so many. Okay, so we have Angela has armor breaks, Corvus armor breaks, CGR has armor breaks, Call Obsidian has the armor breaks. You can use this guy as well. This guy is fully immune to power burn effects. So he's gonna be unaffected from the electric defense. Very, very solid champion if you have him. Then we also have Hulkling. He is also immune to power burn. We also have Gallon. He is immune to power burn. If you have him duped, he was going to be one of the best attackers in this season, because you can get those quick energy resistance and physical resistance buffs, convert them, and just destroy them, especially if you have a 7-star. Now, Gore is also an interesting one. You take this power burn damage, and this guy is going to stack regeneration buffs every single time he takes them. So he should be like immortal in this meta. He might actually be like a very interesting option. Hyperion has that armor break on the special too. Very, very nice. Null has those Living Abyss, counts as armor breaks, definitely really useful. Another thing about Null here, actually, while the corruption is active, while the opponent is 50% or less, when they would regen, they actually degen. So he might actually be extra good because of this arc overload. He should be like pretty decent. Then we got the both King Roots there. They have their armor breaks if you want to use them. We have Medusa, amazing champion because she can also armor shatter, which prevents any armor up from happening. Nova has that armor break as well. We have Phoenix here. Phoenix is actually also fully immune. This is not the real Phoenix, this is the real Phoenix. She's also fully immune to power burn effects, as you can see here, which is amazing. Basically works as Galen and Hulkling. We also have Scream, lots of armor breaks. We have Superior Iron Man, lots of armor breaks on the special one, and especially get one. Delta Thanos has the armor break and the armor shatter, works as Medusa. And then we also have Venom, access to armor break with heavy attack. And yeah, I think, is it Vox immune to power burn? He is. So there's like so many cosmic champions that work in this manner. Like most of your attackers are gonna be cosmic for sure. Now moving on to some mystics here, we got Claire, got nice buff immunity. Diablo can nullify the armor up buffs. We got Isophene, she can also nullify. We got Juggernaut, he can nullify as well. He can stagger. Kushala, Longshot work really well. We have Nico. Nico has that buff immunity. They're never going to get the armor buffs. She's going to work for like every single fight, even the opponents that start with an armor buff. We got Ranger with his neutralize. We got Sasquatch with his stagger. Sigil Scarlet Witch with the patty and the nullify. Shatra will reduce with the atrophy. It's going to reduce the duration of it, so you can wait it out. You also have Sorcerer Supreme if you want to use her. Symbiote Supreme. You can also use Hood with his stagger and Fade Seal. And then lastly, or not lastly, two more. We got Tigra, very nice with the neutralize. And then lastly, we got Wiccan. So that's really going to do it for the attackers. Like, I think mostly going to be, you know, Mystic heavy and Cosmic heavy. But moving on to some of the defenders. We want to have champions that are like really hard to kill and that are like super tanky. Because this region is 25% of their max health. So the more HP they have, the harder or the better the region is going to be, the bigger the region is going to be. So some champions that are actually really difficult to kill. Nefaria, all that resistance, all that health, really tough to kill. You got Mr. I-Hulk as well, lots of HP. Joe Fixit has a lot of HP as well. And then Photon with an equity just doesn't die, so it should be a little bit of a problem. And then lastly, we got Think here. He also a bit of a problem. He doesn't really die that easily. Moving on to Atuma. In the skill class, if he has that region, that means he's going to deal more thorns damage to you, a bit of a problem. If Bullseye survives longer, he's going to deal some unavoidable damage if you don't have the best counter to him. Killmonger, same thing, that reverb, if he lasts longer, he might damage you. Korg is also a bit of a problem with his thorns, because he's got a lot of rock stacks. Nick Fury, obviously, if you don't kill this guy, he might just end with a light attack. And then lastly, Yelena, of course, she's super tanky. With that extra regen, she's going to be even worse. Now, moving on to the mutants here. We get some mutants that are a bit annoying. So Captain Britain, if she lasts longer, she's going to deal some more neutral shock damage to you. Same thing with Domino, which is more crit fail. Dust is also really hard to kill, that immunity to willpower. And she's got also that crit resistance. Gentle might be a bit of a problem because he doesn't really die if he goes for a special 2. Ideally want to bait special 1s on him. We also got Jean Grey. She's probably going to go for multiple force fields in this meta, thanks to the region. And then we also have, where is it? Onslaught could be a bit of a problem. He's pretty chunky. That extra region will probably make him survive a little bit longer. And then lastly, we got Mr. Sinister here. That region, you can't really alter it, so you can really go for like reverse champions. So he probably will survive just a little bit longer. Now, this is the class where it's going to be most defenders, though, the tech class. We got Fam with his armor buffs. We got Zola, doesn't die. We have Falcon here with a lot of armor. Civil War has a lot of armors. Guardian starts with an armor. Guillotine starts with an armor. Howard the Duck starts with an armor. Hulkbuster does get armor ups. This guy gets a lot of armor ups as well. This guy starts with an armor. He gets armor ups as well. So basically, everyone that starts with armors or gain multiple armors will be really tough to kill, because if you don't have champions to prevent the armor ups from happening, like let's say Nico with the buff immunity, or neutralize, or someone that has immediately access to armor break, or someone that's immune to power burn. If you don't have those, you're going to take unavoidable damage. So some more are Nimrod, we have Omega Sentinel, we have Red Skull, going to be a really tough defender if you don't have counters. Sentinel is really tanky, he won't die. And then lastly, we have a Viv with a lot of armor ups, and then Warlock. So there's going to be a lot of tech defenders in this meta. Cosmic, really, there's no one that's like massive problem. Like the only ones that can get armors are like Venom, if you start with an armor, so that could be a problem. And then I guess Gallon, he gets like extra buffs because of the arc overload. He is going to get extra buffs, which is going to feed into the planetary mass. And then I guess you also have like, you know, Dark Phoenix. You know, if she doesn't die, that region is going to make her even more annoying. And then there was some more that I wanted to talk about. Null is also kind of tough to die. Maestro is kind of tough to die as well. Deathless Thanos as well. Those are just, that region is going to make them even tankier. And then obviously, Mr. Serpent right here will be a bit of a problem. I just realized as well, for the attackers, I missed Venompool, because Venompool is also immune to power burn, just something to keep in mind. But moving on to the Mystics, the last Mystic defenders, we have Enchantress, obviously going to be a bit of a problem, Kindred as well, and then we got Ranger and Sasquatch, highest helpers in the game with that arc overload. They're going to be really tough to kill. And then to end it off, we got Man-Thing, also another really tough champion to fight. So there's a lot of information in this season. I don't think it's going to be like that much difficult. You just want to have someone that's like, you know, power burn immune. But I think there's going to be a lot of tech defenders. And for the attackers, we're going to have lots of Cosmic and Mystic. So we're going to see lots of those 3 different classes, Tech, Cosmic, and Mystic. And I feel like the others are going to be like maybe some skill because of ability accuracy and maybe some annoying defenders like Bullseye. But yeah, guys, hopefully this video helped you. And if it did, just give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.